NFL top 100 players of 2024 came out, and it is the first time in NFL history that a wide receiver has been voted number one. And to me, obviously this wide receiver is fantastic. He's the best in the game right now. But to me, the best in the game is not a wide receiver. We've seen the MVP is now really a quarterback award, and as good as he was in the regular season, when they went to the playoffs, nothing happened. So for players to give an award to somebody who was a first round exit that couldn't even help their team go into the next round of the playoffs, I kind of scratch my head.
Tyreek had a good game against Kansas City.
He did. He did.
Had a good game, but again, I think what we got to understand.
But L'Jarius Sneed shut him down, man. I mean, it wasn't.
They had a great game plan. They had a great game plan, and it was a team effort. So we can't knock Reek again because it's 11 players on the field. Everybody has to do their job.
But I mean, we've said that Patrick Mahomes is really the best player in the league and has been for a minute, and he's already won 2 of these things. He's already won 2 of them. But Patrick Mahomes got number 4. And I don't understand how you could get number 4 with the practice squad wide receiver core. I mean, he took them all the way. Lamar Jackson is number 2, and that stresses me out more than anything.
You want to know what's crazy? And Chris McCaffrey was number 3, right?
Yes.
You want to know something funny? Patrick Mahomes beat all 3 of them.
You're right. He did beat all 3 of them. I mean, it's a testament to his defense, too. Yeah, I mean, boom, boom, boom. Well, it was first round with the Dolphins, right? First round, AFC Championship, Super Bowl. I mean, I understand, like, you have to have your MVP up there because if you voted your MVP to get the MVP award, you got to vote him to be top or somewhat top of the top 100 playlist because then it would be controversial. You would be contradicting yourself if you put your MVP lower than one of the top spots, which I'm okay with that. But I know that these lists are not regular season lists. This is why I'm saying they take everything into consideration on these lists. And when you have taken everything into consideration and you can sit here and breathe in with your chest puffed out and tell me that Lamar Jackson's number 2, Tyreek Hill's number 1, and Christian McCaffrey's number 3, but you're going to put somebody who won the Super Bowl with the practice squad wide receiver core at number 4, that just don't make sense to me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What's not connecting, Nate? Connect it for me.
You know what? All right. This is the analogy that was, I think, Michael Jordan was the best player in the 90s, but he couldn't win the MVP award every year. So Tyreek had the best season. Top 100 is based off the seasons. Now, if we had to go ahead and redo it, I would give it to Patrick Mahomes just based on the fact that he had a great season and he won a Super Bowl. Tyreek statistically had an amazing season, so we cannot overlook that. But the reality of it is Patrick Mahomes should be number 1 every year. So it's okay.
But it should make him hungrier, right? It should say, man, I'm number 4. I beat all these guys in front of me.
Not just that, but Mahomes is hungry just due to the simple fact that he wants to win another Super Bowl.
First 3-peat.
He's chasing rings and greatness. Rankings, pay scale, don't worry about that. I want to get that. He's going to make all that money.
Oh, yeah, and at the end of the day, Tom Brady didn't make top 100 number 1 every year. I mean, there's dudes that won 4 MVPs in the time Tom Brady played. I mean, he didn't win it every year, but he's considered the GOAT, right? So it's interesting to me because this is the first time ever that a wide receiver has been top 100. And we've seen somebody like Megatron break the record, or we've had somebody like Jerry Rice or Randy Moss, and neither of those guys have been able to crack the number one spot. But there's been on 3 other occasions where a non-quarterback player has been number one of the top 100. Nate, can you tell me who those 3 other people are?
That have been number one?
Yes. Now, I can give you the years if you want me to, but you'll probably get them.
Adrian Peterson.
In 2013, yes.
Aaron Donald.
In 2019, yes. Oh, they're like peas in a pod. You know this last one. They're like peas in a pod, Nate. It's an argument between who's the greatest ever. He got an MVP award snubbed from him just about. Arm brace, Nate. Think about it. Arm brace.
I'm trying to figure the year JJ was the MVP. Or excuse me, was that 2012? 2012?
Think about the year he went crazy. He went off.
That 2010? Was that 2012?
He won an all-pro in 2 positions, Nate.
Yeah, D-tackle and D-end.
It was 2000. It says 2015. But I can't remember if that's the season or not. But he went crazy.
He scored 4 touchdowns on offense.
Yeah, he went crazy. I mean, he did it all. He was basically Taysom Hill before Taysom Hill. But Taysom Hill ain't J.J. Watt. I'd rather have J.J. Watt on my team. I loved watching J.J. Watt. But it's interesting because now we have had, and probably when Adrian Peterson won it, we were talking about, oh, well, maybe a quarterback should have won it that year. But I can't go back and say that because of how good that man was coming off of an injury and rushing for over 2,000 yards. But then you have a guy who, yes, was almost to that receiving touchdown and loses first round. I mean, the Vikings weren't a first round exit when Adrian Peterson was on the team, were they?
Yeah, they lost Seattle in the first round.
Did they? Okay, well, my argument, precedent has been set. My argument has been erased because now you can say, okay, well, this team that had one of the greatest running backs ever was a first-round exit. He couldn't take them into the next round. Tyreek Hill couldn't either. I mean, it's difficult when you got 2 as quarterback. And then you're going to have them for 4 more years. You're going to have 2 of there for 4 more years, which I'm scratching my head and I'm like, dang. How are you going to pay 2 with that much money? You could have a quarterback there with arm strength to chuck it down to Tyreek Hill. And as long as his deep ball's accurate, you're going to have the same stats as Tua. You're going to do it. It's okay. You had Raheem Mostert with 11 rushing TDs. You're going to be okay. You could have just had somebody in his place. But no, you decided as the Miami Dolphins, who are going to continue to be the Miami Dolphins and not win anything since Perino, to invest $212 million of your team's money into Tua Tagovailoa. Tagovailoa. I don't know. I have an interesting hypothesis and sight on how Alabama quarterbacks do, specifically under Nick Saban, when they go to the NFL. And Tua has been the most promising. Mm-hmm. But there will be a day, and it might be within these 4 years, or maybe when Tyreek Hill leaves, where Tua, we'll just say we won't see him in Miami anymore. But until that day happens, I'm going to keep saying he's the most promising, and then keep my Alabama hypothesis in check. Because if you think about it, statistically, Mississippi State University has a better all-time quarterback in the NFL than any Alabama quarterback that's ever played the game. And you can't tell me otherwise, because statistically it's true. Think about somebody that you think would be statistically better than Dak and I'll give it to you.
I can't.
But you can't. You can't. The man's he's got a top 5 passer rating of a regular season ever.
Patrick.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about Patrick Mahomes. That dude's a beast.
All right, then let's move.
That dude's a beast. Sometimes just gotta have a little bit of college football flair in here.
Yeah.
We just can't talk about NFL the whole time. But if you think that Tyreek Hill is the number 1 player in the NFL, please let me know. Please let me know if you agree with the players' votings and the rankings. If you think Patrick Mahomes should be higher or lower, or other people to be lower, go look up the list. Let us know in the comments below.